Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another podcast, quote-unquote, episode from AFA. We don't do these a lot, simply because it's hard to get all three of us here at the exact same time. But guess what?
We're here.
Oh, well, that was cool. We didn't even plan that. Again, my name is JT, Trevor, Terrell. We are your action figure addicts. Wow. We need to catch up on a lot. Agatha's here. I guess that means we're talking about Agatha All Along.
Let's go down. You notice how she got some dirty fingernails.
She's
the Darkhold.
He doesn't.
Down. Let's talk about Witches' Roads.
Yes, let's do that. No, but we're going to talk about Agatha All Along, all 9 episodes. I can't... Look, we're a little late to our review, but this is a spoiler review. Like, we're going to talk all about the episode.
Thoughts and opinions on the whole thing. We're not going to hide anything from you guys this time. It's going to be all out in the open, no secrets.
Yep. And so, I guess we should jump right into it. I'm just going to say this. Out of the MCU shows that we've gotten, this is number 3 of my list.
How did you know that I was thinking the number 3?
I don't know.
Because it's number 3 on my list now, too.
Oh, see? Look at that.
Great minds think alike.
I don't know.
There's too many. There are a lot, but
too many.
You gotta remember, let's see, I'm trying to remember this show, The Penguin, wrestling, Judge Judy, because I like Judge Judy.
Oh, well.
I mean, I can't help that.
Terrell,
I got a lot.
You're showing your age.
I am pushing 50. Come on now.
Yeah. No, the other 2, just if y'all are wondering, Loki season 2 is 1 and WandaVision is 2. And then Agatha All Along is 3.
Really?
Yep. Absolutely.
Number 1 spot for me has got to go to Moon Knight. I absolutely loved it.
Look, I am a huge Moon Knight fan. You both know this. You will see no Moon Knight figures on my shelf because they're all on my personal desk in my office room.
Moon Knight.
Yes, and I love the show. I just rewatched it. It does have issues. That's my main reasoning for it being number 4.
Oh, number 4.
It is.
I just love the fact that Oscar Isaac killed it with this role, much like Catherine Hahn did with this show. And What If Season 3 comes out next month.
Which we will be covering, of course.
This is being filmed in October, so... No, November. Sorry.
No.
My timelines are messed up. But next month...
I'm bad.
Next month, we've got What If Season 3, and both Agatha and Moon Knight are supposed to appear, both being played by their respective actors.
Absolutely. So, but that's for another time when we watch the show, which comes out December 22nd.
Only on Disney Plus.
Yes. And it'll be
more plugs for it. I'm lost here.
70 returning. No, that's Marvel Zombies. Anyways, we're getting off track. Agatha All Along. That's what we're here to talk about. That's what you're here to listen to us talk about. Terrell, you want to start us off with your thoughts and opinions on the entirety of the show?
Entirety of the show? Sure. First off, there's a lot. You know, as I said a little bit ago, I've got a lot going on up here in the head, trying to remember back on everything. With Agatha, there was a lot of adventure for me in that show. Mm-hmm. You know, it was the whole quest, per se, just to find out at the very end that it wasn't really a quest at all.
It wasn't even a road.
Yeah, it was something that someone made up.
I wonder who. No, you're okay.
Yeah, excuse me.
No, sorry. But any more thoughts?
Good show. I did enjoy it. Every episode had me wanting more, which is of late for Disney shows has not been a thing. And, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing more in the shows, but Agatha All Along had me looking forward to the next show.
Right.
Wanting more of it.
Right.
Like, dang, it's got to end right now. Why? Keep it going. It's better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I just to piggyback on that, when it came out, or when we all heard the rumors about it, we were listening to casting and all this and da
show titles.
Yeah, I mean, it really played into, like I told them long before, like I think episode 3, I said this feels like WandaVision, and Jack Schaefer, who worked on WandaVision, also worked on this show. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And WandaVision was, I mean, it is a top show for most people. Go out in the public and you ask them, of your MCU shows, what's your top? And WandaVision would be one of them. And like I said, they kind of took that episodic feeling into this show where each episode left us wanting more. And by at least, I mean, and they did so good at the as we call the wrap-up episodes, and then the flashback episodes. Because we got 2 flashback episodes, and then we got a full wrap-up. But what they did that I did not expect, they basically gave us the finale in episode 7 or 8, or I can't remember how many episodes there are.
The finale was in the penultimate episode.
Yes. So if it was an 8-episode season, which I can't remember, honestly, then... It was, yes, thank you for looking it up.
I'm going to get the numbers.
Okay. Hypothetically, 8 episodes. Episode 7 felt like the finale, but then episode 8 gave us that, well, guess what?
We're going to wrap it all up.
Yep.
And, you know, I'm going to
9 episodes.
Thank you.
9 episodes, okay.
9. I'm
going to jump in on something you said, too. You said it was, you know, WandaVision being like in your top 3. You think about it, WandaVision was the first one.
It was. Wasn't supposed to be.
No, it wasn't supposed to be, but it was the first one, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Yes.
It told a story that left a cliffhanger just enough for people to really want to look into what's next.
And even in the first 2 episodes of Agatha All Along, it got to the point to where it felt like it was going to be a sitcom. Ooh. Especially that first episode where it felt like the NCIS, CIS, whatever, like type of vibe that we got. And then you switch to episode 2 and you kind of see more of the investigation, but then it flips back into the reality of it all. And then we go down the Witch's Road at the end of episode 2 into 3. And all of that was just like a different vibe. Like it completely flipped on its head, in my opinion, where you got that sitcom-y, shout out to New Rock Stars because they're great. Eric Voss, Jessica, all of them at New Rock Stars. They do a great job. But I remember watching the first breakdown of episode 1, and it was hilarious because they pointed something out to me that I didn't really. SNL did this. They made a parody of this, but the way that Herb in the first episode, because he was like the cop showing Agatha the dead body or whatever, or the unalived body. Sorry.
We're gonna get censored.
Well, they showed the body, and he said, before they showed it, Agatha said, or Agnes, to Herb, he said, yeah, the body's down by the water, and they put so much emphasis on location because it's in New Jersey. Yeah. Westview, quote unquote, is in New Jersey. And so he said the water. And if you go back to SNL, they do a huge parody of the different types of ways that New Yorkers and Northerners say water or water or like, it's just hilarious how they did that. So the emphasis on that was really cool. But the flip, when we get into episode 3, when all of them are walking on the Witch's Road, I was like, from 1 to 3, it feels like 2 totally different shows.
I think episodes 1 and 2 were really giving you that intro, which is what a show should do.
Because what it did was it continued with what Agatha has been doing. Right. Because if they started off, in my opinion, with episode 3, like them going down, or her gathering the coven, going down the Witch's Road, I would have been like, I need to know what has been going on. Right. Because it's been, what she said, 3 years?
I think so, yeah.
That she's been in this trance of, like, you know...
Which, I mean, is also kind of helping to move the MCU along just a little bit to catch it, let us catch up.
Yeah, yeah. Because this is the first show we've had in, I mean, a while. I mean, 2024 was not the year that MCU really brought it, like normal.
Well, I mean, we had Deadpool and Wolverine, and then we've had Agatha,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think we get What If, and then that's it for
Yep.
MCU this year.
2025. Ooh boy, that's another
Ooh.
conversation.
So we had Echo at the beginning of the year.
Well,
Yeah.
but,
That was 4 episodes dropped all at once on like the first of.
It was
still.
well, they dropped the entire season.
Yeah,
That's 4 episodes.
Yeah,
It was.
it was 4 or 5, something like that. But it wasn't a lot.
It was great show by the way.
I liked Echo. Some people didn't. I did.
Ugh.
I liked
Great show. It definitely it moved the needle for the ground, like the on the ground focus of the MCU. I'm talking Daredevil. I'm talking Spider-Man. I'm talking
Cage.
Wilson Fisk. That's all I gotta say.
Mayor Fisk.
You heard it here first. But what did you think about it?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Episode 1 and 2 started off a little slow, but we all text every day. It's like, okay, I was working and I was like, yeah, I'll watch it as soon as I get home. I'm getting home at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then I'd stay up just to watch that. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, okay, now I can't go to sleep. I'm gonna rewatch the episode because why not?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like once we hit that mid-season peak, it didn't have a downward slope.
No.
I mean, Marvel Television has done a really good job as of late, just
on keeping the hook.
on going upwards. It's always been a upward plateau, kind of a dip, and then a back up at some points. I'm not saying all shows did that, but some shows did that. It kind of did like a whoop-de-whoop. And yeah, and so
But I'm
this
not
show.
gonna lie.
Go ahead.
The last couple episodes were my favorite episodes across the board for any Marvel television show, including, the 90s Spider-Man, the original X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh my gosh, they just name-dropped Mephisto.
Yep, they did do that. Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I was thinking Mephisto was finally going to show up.
Nah, not yet. Not yet.
They name-dropped him.
They name-dropped him, which is great,
That means he's there.
but he's not here yet.
He's out there somewhere, but he's not coming up from yet.
Mm-hmm. Which is ironic. I don't mean to cut you off, which is very funny because after we watched this, my wife and I did, we watched Ghost Rider, and Mephisto and Blackheart are both in there, and I'm like, what? What is this? It's like, how did it? This is just weird timing, I guess. But he wasn't. He was Mephistopheles or something like that. But like
a different name, but
yeah,
who he is.
Yeah. And it was so funny because even back then they were like making him such a big like Mephisto.
I mean, if you think about it, he really is.
I mean,
he's that big a deal,
right?
But
especially in the comics,
yes.
because we know how big he is in certain storylines, including with Spider-Man and.
Mm-hmm.
But so it was
Doctor Strange.
For them to even name drop him was a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Like I said, for me, the show it kept going and kept going and kept going. It wasn't any
downward
lull.
slope.
Yeah, it was no downward slope. There was maybe 1 or 2 moments where I was like, okay, give me a little bit of a breather here. But they really couldn't, because if they did, then it would have fell.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And when I sit and say I want a breather, but you still give me what I want at the same time. I want more action. I want more excitement. They were doing just that.
Yeah.
So I gotta give them credit for that.
Yeah. I think another thing too, and these guys they're gonna huff when I say this. The music and the soundtrack.
Yeah, you're right.
I was actually about to mention that because
Look at us.
the same people that did
Who would have thought?
WandaVision, who wrote the original It Was Agatha All Along song,
And Frozen.
came back for this, and they wrote
Banger after banger after banger.
They wrote one banger.
No.
They wrote one banger.
No, they wrote
and then they
multiple.
reworked it several times.
They wrote actually. So fun fact, another plug. We're talking about plugs here. Another plug is if y'all have not listened, if you're a podcast listener, the official Marvel podcast on Apple Podcast, you can go look them up. They all throughout the season they talk to different actors and different people about the show. And the last episode that they had the composers for all the things. And guess which song they started off with and took it in different directions.
Take my glasses back off for that one.
Do you know? You want to guess?
I don't even want to say it.
Down the Witch's Road?
Okay. Yes, that was the main song throughout the thing. There's different versions of that ballad, but which version was their number one that they had to start with?
The one where they sing on the show.
Agatha's son.
Nope.
Nicholas.
Nope. That was the very last one that they wrote.
Was it the mom?
Lorna? The 70s, The Rock?
Yes.
Yes, that was the very first one. And then they worked it how the script was being written and how the show was going through it, and they just tweaked it. Because if you listen to it, I've got the vinyl, so I've listened to it multiple times.
We know.
Each version is very different and very... the wording and the meanings are completely flipped. I mean, just completely different, because you get the first version in episode 2, I believe. And that... But what's crazy is even before I watched the show, I was listening to both the 70s rock version and the actual one with Catherine Hahn and all of them, and I was like, these songs are great, they're awesome. I'm trying to dissect I'm trying to do what New Rockstars does, and I'm not that good. And I'm sitting here trying to listen, and I'm like, ooh, this could be Rio's verse that she sings talking about death. We'll get to that in a second. And then this is when Lorna Wu's mom was trying to protect. Like, I was like, ooh, this makes sense. And then the finale hits me, and it was all made up by a little 6-year-old. And I'm like, wow, I love this song even more now.
No, wait. It was created by a 6-year-old and his mom.
Yes.
Yeah, can't forget his mom. Come on now.
Yes.
Was Agatha.
Yes.
Nicholas Scratch is the co-creator of the Witch's Road song.
Yeah. So technically, Lorna Wu should be giving credit to Agatha and Nicholas.
Well, I mean, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it. I mean, they're both dead, so...
Yeah, this is true.
Ghost money, I guess.
Are they all dead now?
Technically, the whole coven...
The whole coven, yeah, well, except for
One?
Billy Maximoff.
No.
He was part of the coven.
No. There's
Jennifer Kale.
Jennifer Kale
Yeah.
survived.
Yes, because Agatha's gone.
I believe we'll see Jennifer back again in the MCU.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, well, I mean, guess who her cousin is?
I don't want it. I've heard it. I don't think the MCU is going to
Terrell, do you know
go
who her
down
cousin
that
is?
Who's her
route.
cousin?
Ghost Rider.
Okay.
I don't think the MCU is going to go down that route, because they've already differentiated how Billy Maximoff and Tommy Maximoff are introduced into the MCU. I don't think they're going to say, remember that girl, that coven, that witch that was in the coven with Agatha? Guess who's... You know what I mean? Like.
But, it would be a good tie-in to bring those two in.
It would, but I just... Because we haven't gotten Ghost Rider, any references, we haven't gotten anything in the MCU of Ghost Rider. You introduced the cousin, and now it's like... That to me would feel more forced than anything. So if they do it, cool.
It's just a cool little Easter egg.
In the comics, let's just say that. In the comics, they're cousins.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, come on now. You know how many family members there are in the Marvel Universe?
They're all related.
Yeah.
It's all like they're all part of Alabama or something.
It's like incest 101.
Oh my god.
I didn't say that about Alabama. Ain't nobody from Alabama come after me, man.
Sweet home
I'm
Alabama.
not part of this. I just want to make that clear.
Anyways, apart from the music, I think the cinematography also is fantastic. There was a couple shots in each episode that I was like,
That's really good. Now,
wow.
Lilia's episode.
Oh, the best episode.
The cinematography in that episode was absolutely fantastic.
Wait, which one was that one?
Lilia. The one with the tarot cards.
Oh, yeah.
We had to remind him. Now,
Hey, wait.
I don't remember the names.
Shout out to Patti LuPone,
yes,
Broadway
100%.
queen over here.
And Aubrey Plaza's ex-roommate.
Yes, this is also true.
Now,
Yeah.
Lilia's episode was probably one of my favorites of the entire series.
It was my favorite.
Only
Absolutely.
because the cinematography in it was absolutely fantastic, and she was probably the most important part of the entire coven, in my opinion.
That
She was.
episode was the perfect wrap up, wrap it all
up for a
together.
character.
Yes. Well,
no, it's bringing everything full circle.
yes
Episode.
Because there was 2 of those. There was that episode, which was 7. 8 was the finale. It felt like the finale, and then 9 it also wrapped everything else.
9 was the origin that we never got.
Correct.
Well, half of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I also think that music was fantastic. Cinematography was amazing. The acting.
The acting was superb.
I mean, top notch throughout the entirety of the show. I wish we got a little bit more Deborah Ann Rupp, but Joe Rupp.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Well, you knew they were all going to die. Somebody.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I was not expecting that, so soon, like in the 3rd episode.
I was expecting somebody. It might as well have been
Well,
that one.
I also was not expecting this was the most tonally dark series that we've gotten.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
And just throughout the entire show, it was like it only got darker.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to Lilia.
Oh.
As soon as she played that final card, whenever the what was it? The original coven.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the term that they used.
Mm-hmm.
Was coming after them. They were finally catching
Salem
up.
7.
The Salem 7
The Salem
catching up.
It was the daughters of the not okay. The Salem 7 was a confusing part, but I'll let you finish and I'll explain.
That was like Lilia sat there and she was like, "Well, this tarot card has 2 meanings," and then she flipped it, and then the entire room just flips upside down. And at the beginning of the episode, you see all these swords on the ceiling, and they're falling down on Agatha, on Billy, and then it's like she used that to the advantage. She turned it, and then she took out the Salem 7, and ultimately led to her demise, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a sacrifice that she knew she had to make, and it was a sacrifice worth taking.
Because it's a fresh start for her.
Yeah.
Technically, I mean, if you really think about it, what she can do is how she can envision the future and the past. Her past self
helped her realize that this was her penultimate moment.
Yes.
And my favorite part was when the credits started to roll. And there was a song that started to play. I don't think you guys remember it, but it was the same song that played whenever Quicksilver was going through the kitchen, I think in Days of Future Past?
Yep.
And
the slow motion in the kitchen.
The slow motion in the kitchen. And to me, that was like the fact that all of them were falling in slow motion, and you see her slowly let go.
Which that scene at the end was the opening of the episode.
It was.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. Again, to bring it all into full circle.
Yep.
Her character was probably my second favorite throughout the entire show.
We all know who your first one. We all know who your first one is.
Let's talk about his first one.
Well, I wanted to get into the Salem 7 real quick because that was a part that was a little confusing because what we didn't see in episode 9 was what we saw in WandaVision. And in WandaVision, we saw Agatha's mom and the coven around her basically trying to kill her. And Agatha just took all of her powers and then killed them all. That coven, the daughters of that coven, were the Salem 7.
So, what if... Now, this is a stretch here.
Coming out in December. Sorry.
The Salem 7 and Agatha's mom happened before she had Nicholas, which is where it picks up in episode 9.
A couple years after, yes.
A couple years after. So, it was before the Witch's Road had become part of that
Lore.
Mythos of the Witch's Road. And it was like, maybe that predates it, because I thought about that too. I was like, well, where's Agatha's mom?
Dead.
And why didn't we see her, tied up to the post? Like the witch trial. Like we saw in WandaVision, and I was like, finally clicked that I was like, this took place before she had Nicholas.
Yep.
So that's why we didn't see her in that montage. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah. It was just, I wish we got a little bit more on that part because it didn't say why she was being, like, it just said that this is only a guess, my guess is that she read a part of the Darkhold, and then her mom and the coven were like, you can't do that, you're gonna die, and we all know what happened. They all died. Agatha walked away scot-free. And
more powerful.
Yes. And then she lived her life as a witch through...
a vampire witch, if you look at it.
Yeah.
He kept her alive.
Yeah, because that's pretty much what she did. She would drain all the other witches of their powers.
There is one thing that was not made clear. Aubrey Plaza's character, Rio, or Death as it came to be.
Funko, way to go.
Thanks, Funko. Appreciate it.
That was so... I know we are talking spoilers, but that was one that completely...
I saw that one first. And they both said they wanted to know, so I sent it to them.
Well, I saw it on Twitter because someone posted and was like, is this real? And of course they knew it was real. And I was like, oh my god.
But it's also nice that we finally got to see Death. But
yes, that is cool.
We never got any further backstory between
Death
and Agatha because they definitely had something going.
Yeah, we never got that. We never got any story about besides what them two together, but Nicholas's father. Is he a sorcerer? Is he?
Or maybe we have like an Anakin Skywalker situation going on.
So is Death part of that?
Yeah. So it's funny because in the official Marvel podcast, Jack Schaefer was on there and they kind of talked to her about that, and she said she didn't feel, and the writers didn't feel like that was an important part because they thought that it would have taken a moment away from the show to just be for him to say who the father is and then not even show it. You know what I mean? Okay. Like, and a lot of people speculated that Agatha created Nicholas because she is a witch. But when she had Nicholas, she said, I made you from scratch. So there comes the Nicholas Scratch part.
Yeah.
So to me, I don't mind Nicholas being fatherless. I don't care really because that's not, we don't, that's all the only question we can have is who is the father. That's all we can go guess off of.
Someone call Maury.
Yeah. But I would have liked to seen
some more backstory the two
Death
of them.
or Rio and Agatha. I would have liked to see that because when Rio showed up and when Agatha was giving birth, you could almost tell that Agatha has already made some kind of
relationship.
Like there was
Death.
something, but she knew then you're coming for my child. Mm-hmm. Give me more time. Or she was like, don't do it. She's like pleading. And Rio just says, okay, I'll give you some time. She never said how much time, which is probably the most scariest thing. Oh. You don't know how, Agatha had to live day by day wondering.
On the move at the same time, too.
Killing witches left and right.
And, that's also, you look at it, it's like a life itself. You don't know. We're not promised tomorrow.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Every day you should take it as a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was always something that over her shoulders, that
mm-hmm.
fear.
And when, in that episode, when Nicholas had kind of like a change of heart and saying like, we don't have to kill witches today. We can be good. And Agatha was like, okay, we'll chill today. That was the moment. That was the change where it was like, your time's up, kid.
Shouldn't have done that.
And the whole that scene when they're sleeping in the woods and Rio appears, motions for Nicholas to come over here, and then Nicholas gives 2 kisses to Agatha on the cheek, one for Nicholas and one for Rio. They walk on the bridge of death, and then the next thing we see is
Agatha waking up
to a
dead body and unalive body. Thank you. That episode was so. It
gave
a lot of answers, but it left us with more.
And that's okay sometimes.
That episode for me was the more emotional one.
Yes.
As a parent,
100%.
As a parent, that's your biggest fear is you losing your child. It's that was probably the one episode of the series that had me like, ouch.
Yeah.
It hit right here.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
and I'm heartless. I don't have a heart. I don't care.
Don't lie, Terrell.
Okay, Vision.
I don't care.
No, I would agree. That episode to me was like wow, like they went there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I always feel like Marvel's a little bit afraid to
go there,
to go to a certain point, but in this entire season,
They did.
They went.
They
and
went
I was
there.
like, whoa, okay, cool.
They didn't pull any punches.
Nope.
They went straight for the gut.
Well, I mean, we saw a demon.
We did see a demon.
We saw.
We saw witchcraft.
We saw a lot of witchcraft.
We saw a Ouija board.
We saw. Yeah, that was. I was actually surprised to see that.
Now, granted, the Ouija board in this was kind of like a joke, almost a joke board, because when when Agatha started becoming Miss Hart, that was hilarious. First off, Catherine Hahn's impression of Deborah Jo Rupp was spot on, because I thought it was actually her. I thought she was actually talking, and I was like, that's crazy.
And then you look at the cast list for the episode, and she wasn't there, and it's like, oh, that was Catherine.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
She's good. That goes to her versatility as an actress.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. But that episode alone was the first. Okay, if you didn't see the Funko drop or spoiler, then you wouldn't have guessed. This show dropped hints of Rio being death, but that one really was the one that people were like, Leo meme. That was the one where the Ouija board was saying death across the board, and then she starts laughing. And I'm like,
Well,
they actually focused on her while she's laughing at that. Not just laughing in the background. They actually focused on her.
So that was the first episode where y'all realized that she was death?
No,
I had a feeling
she
had something, if not death, something close to long dealing with.
Because I knew that she was death the moment that she crawled out of the ground onto the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Mrs. Hart's body. Which is like, okay, that's a telltale sign. That's,
also
but also with that, I see
climbing out of a grave.
I see what you're talking about, but also on that same point, they were trying to conjure up a new somebody. So they already knew that was going to happen. That was them. That was the spell that they were working on. So if she would have just and then been like, yo, what's up? I'm here. I would have been like, ooh, that's interesting. You just came up from a grave. But the fact that they did an outline of, Sharon's body, they put the little stones, they lit the fire, they then did the enchantment, like that all, and then the body came up. That's where I was like, it could go one of both ways.
I see what you're saying. It could. That was a doorway.
Yes.
It was open doorway, so it could have been anybody that came through. It just so happened to be her.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. That was a dead giveaway there. That was death.
Well, I mean, you said it yourself. It was a dead giveaway.
Yeah. But I'm saying, but it was a lot there. Like the show itself had a lot going for it. And if you're not into that kind of stuff, you're gonna be like, oh god, this is kind of eerie. For Disney to allow this show to come out like it did. Goes to show that they're changing in their ways of how they view things altogether.
Correct.
Well, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we wrap, go ahead.
We have not we have not said anything this entire episode about Billy Kaplan. I'm sorry.
No. That's exactly
Wiccan.
That's exactly what I was going to get to.
I got a lot to say about
Wiccan was in this show, and I called it from episode 1. I said, this guy's going to end up being Wiccan.
Well, we all kind of called it when Joe Locke was casted as Teen. Yeah. We were like, stop that!
Who's Teen?
Don't lie. We know who Teen is. This is a male white boy. Who else is a male white boy that has to do with Agatha Harkness? Like, come on now, we ain't dumb.
Or magic.
The magic and ties into
like, come on now.
Well. Yeah, that and the sigil was another giveaway. The way the sigil was written. The design looked like a W, like a Maxim.
Yeah, they played along with that. Disney did. I know that was ultimately Lilia's way of protecting Billy or William, but the way when the trailer hit and we saw that sigil, I remember seeing that and being like, okay, Disney. I was like, okay, Marvel, you're trying to hide this, because normally they would do like the whole like if we were in a movie and they wanted to, like, they didn't want to show Trevor, they would just like blank him out and it would just be me and Terrell looking at like a villain. But then in the movie it would be all three of us.
Right.
Case in point, look at Spider-Man No Way Home. It was literally Tom Holland, Spider-Man swinging against 6 others, and it was like, This
No.
shot looks big enough for 2 other Spider-Men.
You know what's
and
funny?
That was in the movie.
That Super Bowl spot where you see Lizard getting kicked in the
Yeah.
face by an invisible man.
Right.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about what was it? The Avengers. What's the third movie? I can't think of the name of it now.
Civil War.
Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Oh.
When it
Oh,
was,
yeah.
When it was Hulk running.
Yeah.
Instead of
Instead
Hulkbuster.
of Hulkbuster. So yep, that Disney does things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we see those things.
But this one, when the sigil happened, I didn't know that was going to be in the show.
Right.
I completely thought that was what Disney was going to do. And when you started watching the episode in episode 2, when she's like,
Who
"Who
you?
are you?" and he walks up, I was like, I remember looking at Madison and she even told me, she was like, "I wonder if they're going to do the sigil or if he's going to say his actual name." And I said, "There's no way in episode 2 of a 9-episode season they're going to
Tell us
who he is." And then he said, and then it was the sigil across his mouth. I was like, there it is. Like,
But see,
that's
it
really
wasn't
cool.
just when he was saying his name, anything about his background.
Because in the same
Was-
episode, he started talking about it, and then it
then-
went silent. It went radio silent.
Agatha was turning up the volume on the car to make sure that it wasn't her.
Yeah. No, that the reveal itself. I think the reveals of this show, granted, they were spoiled on many fronts, but
Funko.
but the reveals themselves, I feel like, were good. Like
Yeah.
like they weren't great. They weren't like mind shattering, but they were good. The one that I was most surprised to see was Wiccan in the full suit. Like,
I wasn't expecting that. I was glad to see it. I wasn't expecting it, but I was glad to see it. It was a lot that I wasn't sure how Disney was going to do. You know.
the other one that I was going to say. Sorry, the other one I was going to say was Death looking like Death.
That too.
That was all practical too.
Yes.
And that was amazing.
Very much so. But yeah, I was surprised and.
grab the.
Yeah,
This is if you haven't seen the show. Terrell's going to show you essentially what Aubrey Plaza looked like, like that. Just like wait, kind of like this.
a little higher, no, a little bit lower. There you go.
Kind of like this.
Just stay like that. Perfect.
Yeah. So, anyways, the show. Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I was just saying
So-
there was a lot that I wasn't certain of what Disney was going to do with.
But they did.
They did. They did a lot. I wasn't expecting to see Wiccan kiss someone
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
because
His boyfriend Teddy.
in today's day and age, that's something that I wasn't expecting to see on a Disney show. Even though it's been talked about, it's been hinted at a couple times. I've never seen it in that aspect. I was happy for that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was too, because that's a very important part of that character.
Yes. Yes. Now-
That's why I was like, I don't know if they were going to do that. I don't know what route they were going to go. And they went there, and it's like Disney said, "We're Disney. We're going to do what we want to do," and they did it. And kudos to them for doing that.
Yes.
Proud supporter of the LGBTQ community. So that right there was a proud moment for me as as a father and my kid. I have a kid that's part of the community. That made me feel like, yeah, now you got a voice because that's what
I have a superhero that's like me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what a lot of kids don't have.
Right.
So being able to see that and Disney say, here, we're going to give that to you.
But one thing that, and I'm glad that you said that, one thing that I really liked about it was, I'm happy that they did it, but I'm happy it wasn't forced.
Yes.
I'm happy it was not because Joe Locke he has come out, and so he is a,
LGBTQ.
Yes, and so is the character that he's playing.
Yes.
Yep.
So
And
it was not forced. It was never like,
He's actually representing the community too, and that's
Yes.
what's important.
And
Because
that's another thing, too, that I'm proud of Disney for doing because they're showing their solidarity behind
Yeah.
it. So, which is good.
it wasn't even Wiccan and Teddy. It was Agatha and Rio.
Yep.
That's
that too.
two ways
So-
about it.
It was all right there, and Disney went with the gusto and did it.
Yep.
Which a lot of companies probably have been held off on that and save that for a movie or save that for something else, but they probably would not have gone there on TV. And Disney did that with this show, and I was very proud of that.
Yep.
That hit me right there. Also made me say, I can follow behind
Yeah.
this more so now than I was before.
So, to kind of wrap things up, Terrell, who were your who were your top 3 favorite characters?
Oh man.
Oh, God, come back to me.
JT, who were your 3 favorite characters?
I would have to say, that's really tough.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to leave someone out, but I think Agatha was probably middle. Agatha was 2.
Okay.
Oh, see, I have 4. Can I give you my 4?
Sure.
In no order.
Oh, come on.
In no order. Rio, Billy, Agatha, and Lilia.
Okay. Terrell?
Definitely going with Rio because I love the villains. You know, the villains always help sell the show. Billy. Agatha being the anti-hero was a big thing, and I would actually probably give Agatha as number 1 in my top 3, in my top 4. And I would definitely say Lily because at that her last episode she was the true hero of the show.
She made the sacrifice.
Yeah, she was the true hero of the show. I mean, yes, Billy was the ultimate hero, but Lily was the one who made the ultimate sacrifice to save everyone else. So
if y'all already know my top 2, well, my number 1 spot goes to Death. Aubrey Plaza has become one of my favorite actresses. Number 2 goes to Lilia. Number 3 goes to Wiccan with the ghost of Agatha as an accessory.
No.
I pulled that on y'all. Number 4 spot goes to Ralph Boner.
Oh, Jesus.
He was great. He was
a very nice... I say this is... The entire episode, the entire show is a nice nod to WandaVision, but... I mean, because, duh. But, like, I will say this. Seeing him be so crazy because of what Wanda did, that's a nice touch.
That was a great touch.
That's a nice touch.
And the fact that he was like, stay away from Agatha.
Do you have wires on you? But
she kept my whole Blu-ray collection.
I'm sorry. I also need to point out something that you said earlier. Something that Disney went to, and that was actually showing a death. Not really showing a death or an unaliving, but when William Kaplan died.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That.
When William Kaplan died, and then like 5 seconds later, hey Billy, and Billy is now in William's body.
Yeah.
And he wakes up saying Tommy because that's the thing. Now, I did say at the beginning of the show, and I will say that I was wrong, and I'm okay with it. I thought Billy was going to go after Wanda. I thought at the very end they're going to reach the Witch's Road.
And they're going to bring back Wanda.
And, well, they were going to at least say, like, I want my mom back, and then that sets up for either a Wanda movie or whatever. Tommy is the one that Billy's looking for, his twin brother.
And I actually pieced that together when they finally gave the story. When they gave Billy his
episode. Yeah.
That's when I pieced together. He's not looking for Wanda.
Yeah.
He's looking for his brother.
Now, there's a lot of speculation on the Tommy front because in that episode 8, we did get a very, very interesting
approach for what they're going to do and introducing Tommy.
Because Tommy is technically in the MCU now. We just don't know
we don't know where he's at.
Yes.
Yet. Kind of like White Vision.
Yeah. And so, speaking of White Vision, Vision Quest, if that's the title of the show, that is the third of this trilogy.
Third chapter in the WandaVision trilogy.
Yes. And there's a lot of places that they could go with on that show. So it is confirmed to be coming out. Paul Bettany has confirmed it, and so we know a little bit about it. I don't want to say, and confirm things, but we do know that
it's coming. We don't know when.
It'll happen. My guess is 2026.
TikTok.
So
come on, Marvel.
Well, they got a lot on 2025.
Marvel was sitting on stuff like I am on my collection.
This is true. This is true.
And JT.
Each day,
JT beat by a long shot.
Each day passes, and they're like, "What are we gonna unbox today? What are we gonna look at?" Oh,
they pull one of my numbers. I'll sit there and like,
or what they do is they look at it and they say, "Which one can I get done really quick?" What If, coming in Disney Plus on December 22nd.
Cha-ching.
All episodes, 22nd, 23rd, 24th.
Just like last year.
Yes, exactly.
We're getting What If for Christmas.
Yep, we are. But no, I don't know if we're going to get a Tony Stark Saves Christmas episode. That one was fun.
Oh, that one was great.
That one was
Happy
great.
Hogan Saves Christmas.
Yeah, that one was great.
Loved it.
Yeah, we won't.
Yeah.
I don't. They've done that already.
They've done it, yeah.
Something else
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So, a lot's coming out in 2025, but we still have What If waiting for us. Also on the Marvel front, Kraven the Hunter is coming out.
Next month.
On the 13th of December, I believe, is the date. So, there's that. And I think that's it. And then right in January, we got Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So,
Ooh.
Yes.
Hey, wait, that's when it's coming out?
And then in February, we got my birthday present.
yes, we do. We do. We have
Brave New World.
Brave New World on the 14th, on Valentine's Day.
Yep. So if
What
anybody
way
wants
to
to give me an
spend
early birthday
Valentine's
present, my birthday is February 19th. Tickets to...
You're already going to get tickets. I don't... That's
That's
not...
beside
I'm buying
the
your
point.
ticket, man.
That's
It's a
beside the
birthday
point.
gift.
I'm trying to tell the people.
Well, okay. Regardless, we're going to end the video with this. 2025 has Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. We have Thunderbolts. We have Brave New World. We have Eyes of Wakanda. We have
Marvel Zombies.
Marvel Zombies. We have Wonder Man. And I think that's it. There may be one more, and I'm not too sure on it. But 2020. Oh, Fantastic Four First Steps.
I can't believe he forgot
I can't,
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Fantastic Four. So 7-ish. I may be forgetting another one, but 7 project. Oh, I am Ironheart. I told you. 2025. And look, we're eating good in 2025.
I'm just looking forward to February.
So
It's important.
We starved this year.
we did.
We got Deadpool and Wolverine. We
But
got
Deadpool-
Agatha. We
but-
got Echo.
But Deadpool and Wolverine felt more like a Thanksgiving feast because you can watch it at any time. I went and saw it 3 times in theater. I have it on DVD and now it's on Disney Plus. So like, it's all there. So
I know, but we had to go January to July.
this is true.
That's 6 months without anything
This is true.
from Marvel, and
This
it's
is
like, and now we're eating good. We've
Yeah.
had Venom. I forgot about Venom.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Venom.
Yeah.
We
Venom.
had Venom. We had
Mhm.
Deadpool and Wolverine. We had Agatha,
Mhm.
Echo, and we get What If next month. So
I also believe that Madam Web was this year as well. It's been a long year.
no.
No, it was
No.
It was definitely this year. I think.
Y'all give me a headache. Shut up.
So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to this or watching this, whatever you're doing with this podcast episode. Again, my name is JT. This is Trevor, Terrell. We are your action figure addicts. Stay tuned for another episode where we will talk about whatever is on the docket.
We'll see you next month for Kraven.
And what if? Maybe.
What about Wicked?
Wicked.
Gladiator 2.
Oh, Glicked.
Gladiator 2 and Wicked. Ooh.
So stay tuned for Glicked.